Moose Country. Welcome to another episode of Let Us Be Heard.
What's up, Moose fam? Calling back here for another episode of Let Us Be Heard. I'll be flying solo today as Dale has other engagements he could not get out of. Nevertheless, the show must go on. So today's a bit of a special interview. We have a young man coming on who was at camp for us 2 years in a row. He showed such significant improvement last camp that it left many of us fans wondering why didn't he make the cut this year. Now, the problem with that is with only 2 goalie spots available, it's kind of hard to break the cusp. But I hope you're all happy to hear from Sam Madgett. Sam, how you doing, sir?
Good. How are you?
Not too bad. Good to see you. How you been?
I've been pretty good. Pretty good. Just coming off of string games now. So with the Max.
Nice.
So yeah.
So you're back with the Max now. Are you the starting goalie with them this year?
It's been back and forth. I wouldn't really say there's a starter, but we play 50-50.
Okay, so you're running tandem.
Yeah.
Who's your goalie mate?
Chandler Bell. Chandler Bell. He's an 08. But yeah, that's my goalie partner for this year.
Nice, man. You guys gonna take it again this year or what?
What? Oh, I'm hoping so. Yes.
So you've been at Moose Camp twice. Hence the reason we have you on. The show is about moose heads, moose players, moose. You're at camp 2 years in a row. Now, how did 1 year differ from the other for you?
I would say there's definitely been like a change in pace each year. Being my first year and then being with guys that are 2-3 years older than me, the pace was quick. But as I get older, I get more used to it. You almost adapt to it a lot quicker, I'd say. And then there's also getting to know the players a little more each year, which kind of builds more comfort, I guess, showing up to camp. You know the guys, you know who they are, you know how they play. Overall, it's just like a big confidence booster, I'd say, each year.
And hockey community is so small, so you must know a lot of the guys that were on the ice this year anyway.
Oh yeah, you know them all through social media and stuff like that. So yeah.
So being at 2 different camps, at least for the Halifax Mooseheads, has there been a goalie that was maybe a little bit more senior than you that you took a lot of knowledge from?
Yeah, even going up with the Mooseheads during the regular season, I'd say Milner and Russo, both of them. Milner showed me how important it was to be a good teammate. I'd say he's one of the best room guys I've ever met, and he's literally the greatest teammate in the world.
I love hearing that.
No, he's awesome. I'm sure there's a lot of people that'd say the same thing. No, overall he's a really hard worker, and I took a lot from him. Yeah. Being up with him when Russo was up in NHL camps and the World Junior. And even this year when I was invited to the practices and stuff like that, when I got to see Russo a little more, because they'd bring me and then there'd be them 2. So there'd be 3 of us on the ice. It was cool seeing Russo as well, up close, because he's had that experience up at the top levels, the World Juniors and
finals
and all that. I took a lot from those 2, and I'm really grateful for that.
That's awesome, man. I see Mr. Carey Price on your wall. Is that who you aspire to?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's my that was my favorite goalie growing up.
That's awesome. I was fortunate enough, same team but different goalie. I was fortunate enough a couple years back when we were doing the finals with Quebec that I got to meet my favorite childhood goalie, Patrick Waugh, and was able to share a picture with him. And it was a really good moment, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
I've never had the chance to meet any of those big guys.
No?
I have seen them before. I've never gotten the chance to meet any of them.
Well, I don't know if you know, but when I was a kid, younger than you, there was something called the old timers hockey game. So I got to meet a bunch of the older guys like Guy Lafleur, Gordie Howe, people of that nature, which is really cool. I wish they would bring that back. Maybe have Patrick Waugh or Carey Price in the lineup.
That'd be cool.
Right?
That would be cool.
And it was funny too, like they would attach sticks together, like so they'd have a double-ended blade on their stick, and it was always against like a firefighting hockey team or a police hockey team. It was just a good time. It was just fun games, right?
Mm.
So you played with the Halifax Max. You're still playing with the Halifax Max, but you guys took the championship last year. The final game was against the Subarus. I was actually in attendance. I don't know if you remember. I came over and banged on the door while you were on the bench.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
But what was that feeling like skating out onto the ice with your team after taking the championship? Walk us through it.
It was pretty cool. I mean, I was on the bench for that game, but even then, like it was pretty cool. I know that game meant a lot for our team and for the coaches as well. I mean, like. Both teams like built a lot over the season, like just after every game, like both of those teams, our team and the Subs both got really good towards the end. And it was a really hard fought like series. I mean, we took it to the very last game, game 5. It meant a lot to us as a team. And overall it was a really good experience. That was the first I'd say that was the first championship I've ever won. That wasn't spring hockey. So it was cool in that sense. I've never won a provincial, I guess, title before. So no, it was really cool.
And you guys were a young team too. Like you were youngest in the league.
Well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome because you guys get to be good for a couple of years if you're, that young and that good. So how did, speaking of coaching staff, you had mentioned them. How did Tim prepare you for, Moose Camp, and just for your future in general? What's up, hockey fans? I don't know about you, but I have a sweet tooth. I came across a brick and mortar candy store the other day that I have to share with you guys. I was able to find candy from my childhood, as well as candy I've never even seen before. Of course, I'm referring to the Candy Depot. With locations in Dartmouth Crossing and Mountain Road in Moncton, even when we're up there thrashing the Wildcats, we can still get our candy fix. Stop by and also check out their selection of toys and Funko Pops. Tell Mike the Moose fan sent you.
I would say the coaches were very considerate of us goalies, like for all season long. I mean, they'll give us time at the start or at the end of practice to work on goalie stuff. And Tim was really good at speaking to a player face to face and telling them what they need to work on. He gave me recognition throughout the season, like where in front of the team as well, like, oh, Magic played a really good game. And, like little things like that, I think.
Confident boosters.
Yeah, exactly. And like, you appreciate that from a coach. Same thing with the goalie coach. Like he would help me, we'd do video. We'd go over little things, work on those habits and stuff like that. So in that sense, they helped me out a lot in terms of preparing me for the next level.
Well, you were drafted by the Halifax Mooseheads. You ended up being a call-up while Rooster was away at Worlds. And you're sitting on the bench, and, it's a bad game for Milner. It happens to all of us. And you get put in. Walk us through your QMJHL premiere.
It was pretty cool just being on the bench, like, hometown kid,
Yep.
and it's your hometown team. You've been growing up, like you hear that a lot. The guys growing up, they get drafted to their hometown team, and like you get the chills going out. I mean, just walking into the building, into like the players area, it's just you get the chills walking in there. Um, but no, it was really cool. And even being around the team, the guys were so welcoming. Like it was the nicest feeling ever.
Really?
Um, yeah, and I guess go back to the very first game I was on the bench for in the home opener. That was a dream come true.
Oh, I love
I
that.
must admit that was awesome. I had a lot of friends and family in the stands, so yeah, no, it was really cool. Being on the bench for that game, I did end up going into the third period. Um, it was I think that was one of the games where what was it? I'm trying to think. I think it was a little last minute, or maybe I'm mixing it up with another time. But anyways, no, I think we were on a string of games there where I think Russo must have just left for camp,
Yeah.
and I believe that was the second, if not the last game before the holidays.
I
Um,
can't be sure, but it was around there. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, but yeah, no, I guess going into the third period, I think the team wasn't doing so well. We were playing Bathurst,
Hate
and
Bathurst. I hate Bathurst.
I believe that's one of the rivals, aren't they?
Yeah, well, it is now. I mean, we finally got them. We finally beat them after 12 meetings, so hopefully that'll continue.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, and I guess we there was the past two periods were pretty rough. And then going to that third one, I think uh Midge gave a speech like, boys, we need to fight this one. Like we need to keep it going. We need to keep fighting back. And I think it was a bad bounce for Milner, I believe. And Midge said, "Magic." Um, and I guess that's the biggest shock. Kind of like I had a feeling like maybe it was coming. But even then, like I'm a first year goalie. Like I wasn't expecting it, but I did have in the back of my mind like be ready here. Um, but yeah, and I know I prepared myself well before the game, so like just in case, like if like worst case scenario. So no, I was ready to go in if I had the chance.
So,
And Midge gave me the shot there. He called my name, and I got up. It was a bit of a blur. I'm not gonna lie. Like it was a Wednesday night game. It was kind of semi-packed a little bit, lower
yep.
bowl, but no, I think I got off the bench, and I was like, all right, here we go. Milner was skating by, and it was awesome. Because I know he had put him in a tough position. Like, it's
Yeah.
hard getting pulled, right?
Yep.
But he came up to me and said, gave me a tap on the shoulder and just like, Magic, just do your thing. Just
Ah.
like it was the most. I'm not gonna lie, it was the most comforting thing ever. Like it was just do your thing, and you'll be great. And I was just like, oh, okay, all right, let's go here, let's go here. And but no, that was awesome of him to do. That was a very teammate thing to do, and it was awesome. Like,
Uh,
and I
he's
appreciate him for doing that.
he's a hell of a guy. We had him on the show,
Mhm.
and he did an interview with one of his fans here on the channel. It was really nice. He's a stellar guy. Like on and
Yeah,
off the
no.
ice, just a great guy. Now, what were the nerves like as soon as he says, you're up, like it's your time? Like, does your heart just jump into your throat?
Oh yeah, like I said, it was a blur. Like I got off the bench, and like the legs, that the legs were shaking a bit.
Yeah.
But like it caught me by surprise. And so but no, I went in net. I went in net, and I kind of shook it off. I moved around a bit. I stretched, quick stretch, just to kind of feel it a bit. Um, but yeah, no, as soon as the first there's that bad bounce there. But once that goal went in, I was dialed in, and I shut the door for the rest of the period.
You
So
played fantastic. Like there was a really weird bounce. I believe it was short side on the from the blue line or something like that, and it was just took a weird hop just before your pad and bounced over your pad blocker side.
yeah, it
Nothing
was
you could do. It was nothing
no,
you could do, right?
yeah. I mean, I think now I'd find it maybe a little easier to read. But no, it was yeah, bad bounce. Something I'd like back now.
Yep.
Like
Yeah,
it's
100%.
something that I'd like to have back. But no, I think I've grown from that a lot. And I'd thank Mitch for doing that. I saw him the practice after, and I'm just like, Mitch, I really appreciate you giving me a shot like that. Like that's really cool. I took a lot from that, and I guess add that building blocks thing. You know what I mean? So like I definitely took a lot from that scenario, and made me a better goalie, I think.
Well, you're absolutely lights out for the remainder of that period, man. Like absolutely lights out. Like
Thank you.
the fans were impressed. Like it didn't go unnoticed. Milner really needed to sit out that game. He was had a bad game, and you came in and you really shut the door for the most part. You played exceptional, man. Like really good.
Thank you. Thank you.
So what is your biggest obstacle trying to secure a roster spot with the Mooseheads? What have you contributed to?
Obstacle, I'd say my biggest obstacle is maintaining that consistent level of play that I've been playing at this season, and maintaining that throughout, like, to the remaining games of the season. Obviously, like, you want to make it as far as possible in the playoffs. But even beyond that, like summer, I'd still like to maintain like a pretty consistent, um like I'd like to work hard and keep building on what I've built this season, in order to be ready for training camp and that sort of stuff and next season.
So you'll be at training camp this year, you think, for the Moose?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to showing them what I've the goalie I've became over the past couple of months. So.
I'm telling you, I'm pumped for that because there's a huge question mark hanging over the Mooseheads organization for goalies for next year, and I think you'd fill that slot perfectly. You're a little bit, you're the same age as Circa, so it'd be tough having two goalies the same age. But I mean, you guys are both lights out, and I'd love to see you maybe run a tandem with them next year. I think that'd be awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be cool too.
So one thing I forgot to ask about your Moosehead debut, after that one kind of bobbled and went in, the boys came up, tapped your pads. What's some of the things they say when they came up to you?
The one thing I remember the most about that was McKinnon. He can't. I don't know why, but I can't remember who else came up. I think Cataford might have been on the ice, but McKinnon was the face I remember. He came up to me and he literally just said, don't worry about that one. Just keep doing your thing. And yeah, no, it felt comforting. Like, those are some big names, and like just hearing it from them, it felt good, and like it felt like I kind of I don't know, locked in after that. Like, okay, the boys are behind me on this. Let's go here.
Another great guy too. How's he in the locker room? He must be an absolute stellar guy in the locker room as
Oh
well.
yeah, no, he's an energy guy. He's awesome. He's like Braden McPhee.
I love McPhee. I love that
Yeah.
kid. So do you still keep in contact with the Halifax Max, who are now, like, you guys were close, but do you guys still keep in contact with with Walters and so on and so forth?
I mean, not as much as I'd like to. I like we'll see him. We'll see. He'll come to our games. We'll pop by. And I'll see him at practice when I get called up. But no, I don't keep in touch with those guys as much as I'd like to. There are times on social media, like I'll like, um, but no, I'll mostly see those guys sometime in the off season. But it's nice seeing them when they come to the game. Sometimes I see some of the boys, some of the Moose boys pop by, and it's nice to see them.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
so they come to your games. There's nothing going on for them. They'll come pop by, eh?
Oh yeah, yeah. When they got time off, I think Danny usually brings one or two.
Nice.
Um, but even at the Ice Jam a couple weeks back, a few of them popped by. Callum and Quinn popped by, and I think there's a few more in the stands. So no, it was nice to see them.
Lou Felix Denis was at your final game last year.
Oh really?
Yeah, yeah.
I saw Cataford. I saw
Cataford,
Cataford
yeah,
there.
yeah. Because
Um,
his girlfriend's brother played for the Max, correct?
yeah,
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 yeah. So yeah,
yeah. That's right.
when we were there, we got to see a couple of Mooseheads there watching your championship. So that was nice to see.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't
Yeah.
realize. I didn't realize it was there. Yeah, no, I just saw Cataford, but no, that's cool.
So you're back. You're back with the Max. Where do the Crushers come in?
Um, no, so I've been talking with Picto a little bit throughout the season. Seeing if I can get some time up there. And like they've had a pretty good season. They've had a rough string of games, I think, during the break. That time
Yeah.
in December. But no, they're doing well right now. They made a couple trades, and the team's doing fairly well. I think they're making a push for it this year. And they just picked up another goalie. So both of their goalies are doing very well right now. So I think it'll be hard to kind of fit me in this season, in terms of looking for games. But anything can happen.
It's such a hard position to crack, eh?
Yeah, no, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just
So
keep working though.
yeah, just that's all you got to do. You
Yeah.
can't let it get you down. You just got to keep working, man. 100%. So with last year being your best, save percentage was 0.933. What are the odds that you may get on with the Crushers or the Moose? Like, does this year, do you think, will rocket you to a start next year?
Um, I think I'm hoping so. Like I'm hoping I'm moving on my third year. And I've worked hard all season. And that like I do think that gives me more of an opportunity to, make crack those rosters. Um, but like I said, I think it's just it's a bit of a waiting game. They got to know what they're doing as well.
Yeah.
And but yeah, no, just keep working. I'm not too sure, and I don't think too much about it. Kind of just wait and see what happens, and wait for the time to come, and I'll be ready.
I gotta ask you gotta maybe walk me through the jerseys. I love jerseys. I think I have like
Oh,
30
behind me
jerseys.
there.
Yeah, gotta walk me through those, bud.
So my draft one's just on the wall there.
Just out of
But
sight. We can't. It's over.
do you want me to show you?
Yeah, please. Why not?
There it
Nice,
is there. And then
nice.
I got my Major Bantam jersey there, and then I got my two spring hockey jerseys from when I was I guess 8 to 13 years old.
Wow, that's awesome.
Those are the Nova Scotia prospects.
That's wicked, man. I love
Yeah.
that. And those you just keep them hung up all the time, or is that for me?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They're okay, nice. So, give me your 5-year plan. What's next for Magit in the next 5 years? If the sky was, the sky's the limit. Whatever you want. If I say I'll make it come true, what do you want in the next 5 years?
Honestly, after this year, once this year's over and done with, obviously I wanna crack the Mooseheads roster. I think that's the ultimate goal. I've been working hard towards that. Um, but once I find the team I'm playing on next season, um, I'm just looking forward to building off of each season, and my goal ultimately is trying to play pro. Like
Of course.
So I'd like to build off of every season I play for the next 5 years, and see where that takes me. And I'm looking forward to that. So.
Nice, man. I love that's a good answer. That's a good answer. A lot of times you'll hear like day by day, year by year, but I like that you're envisioning it. I love that. So, what are some of the things the Moosehead staff or coach has said to you in the past couple of years? Maybe it's to what you need to work on, or reasoning for not making the team, or whatever the case may be. What's some of the things that they said to kind of push you to do better the next camp?
Yeah, I've been told I need to I need to find a consistent sort of play when in games. I need to be consistent when it comes to on ice stuff, off ice stuff. We need to find consistency. I need to play a lot of games, just things like that. Just to build who I am as a goalie and that sort of thing. But I've when I've gone out to practices, I would for those 2 seasons, the year before, I'd get a lot of feedback from Joey Pericone, the goalie coach. Yep. I'd get a lot from him, and even this year, I got a lot from Chuck. So I kind of put what they said together, and I really started working on those every time I got back to the team practices with the Max. And I think that's put a lot towards my development in the past couple of years.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm not sure if you know or not, but if we just look at numbers, I believe you and Saint Ange were the two best for all of camp. Like you could see what you worked on from the previous year, because you were crazy this camp. Like, we honestly thought Magic's got it. Magic's got it. So, I think you're going to do really well with the Max, and I think they're going to depend on you for some big games here coming up, man, because you can tell that you have grown, and like, we're excited. The Moose fans are excited to see where you go next year and the year after, man. Yeah,
I'm excited for that too.
So do you have any advice for younger kids who are looking to take up the pads?
I would say, like, more than anything, kind of like enjoy and have fun with it. I know I did when I was a kid. Like, the minute I threw them on, I was excited. Every time I threw them on, I was excited to go out, and I'd be up early in the morning waiting for practice to come, and like, I was up stupid early. It was awesome, but like, you want it when you're doing that, like, so. And like, the training part of it sucks, like, when you're a kid, because you don't know the position very well, and no one likes to train. They just like to play the games and stuff like that. But like, as you get older, I guess it gets a lot more fun, and yeah. So
we had Roger Kennedy on, and his advice for people who want to play in that position was run. Don't do it.
Oh yeah,
stay away from goalies.
Yeah.
All right, man. Listen, you were a blast to have on. I really appreciate your time. That was Sam Magid, everybody. Hope you're all healthy, safe, and happy out there. And as always, go Moose, go.